So down to the frog pond I go. Originally dug this just to have some water by camp. They have campfire and whatnot. I was going to try to make a seep out of it before I decided to actually put down a point well. Yeah, I've been digging over here, building a dam. I'm going to expand my little frog pond a little bit here. Yes. That actually up on the hill where that pine tree fell over is where I was thinking of maybe putting a spring house in. As I get down to a certain layer down here of that rusty, kind of like silty sand, like right there, it bears water. So I was figuring if I removed all this in here, get me a decent spring house. This was one of my test holes before I put down the point well over by the springs. But this area over here is variable as far as water flow. I have seen that little frog pond pretty dried up with no flow. Even my well was running slower from it. And yes, that is camp up there. And up there, which you may not be able to see, the blue barrel and the tarp is my shower area because I wasn't going to buy more hose. Just, being the cheap ass I am. Little two-stroke water pump. Actually works good for as cheap as it was. One of those Amazon deals where, yeah, I'd love to buy an American-made one, but I couldn't touch the price of an American-made one, so Chinese two-stroke water pump, just like the Amish use. Does pretty good, even though it's set up for a inch hose, and this garden hose is maybe a half inch. This is my point well. It goes down about 24 feet, and it flows, almost 18 to 24 inches above the height of the pipe, usually. Once again, garden hose and my makeshift drink cooler. Makes the water temperatures like 48 degrees coming out of the well up here, so usually just throw my drinks down in there, and as long as it's running water, it don't get all mosquito-y and crap. But there is plenty of just standing water around here. There's a lake over there somewhere on the other side of those bushes and trees. Once again, down at the little spring. Got a couple seeps running pretty good right now. test hole over there. I was thinking about trying to dig a spring. There's another spring over there by that pine tree. And I have different seep holes dug all along this horseshoe-shaped fen. I guess it would be the name to call it. It's the way it sunk down, and the water that comes out of it is actually more alkaline than it is acidic, but by the time it makes it out that way, it becomes highly acidic. So it just is what it is. So I got to keep moving. I'll film another video or two up here at camp. You know. Oh, wild gooseberries. They grow all along through in here. They got thorns on the berries. And we have some wild currants that try to grow over in here. There's other spots they grow better on the property, but you know, those things that you find. Yeah. Make the video a little bit longer. Walk on down to the bay pile. You know, the trail gets rougher through here, and I've been trying to clear straight line of sight down through here to use it as a shooting range, but you know, running a chainsaw all day, every day on vacation is not fun, especially when you're trying to build a cottage up here too. So nothing has ran off of the bones. Yeah, another used dock section for people out there that know me. I install and remove docks and boat lifts as a seasonal business or side hustle every year, so I end up with lots of pieces of dock and stuff. The hole in the board is so I can pull my bow or gun up through, depending. The bow I have to pull over the side. But I tell you what, on a windy day out here, I don't ever hunt up in there because of all the dang branches hanging above me on this thing. Somewhere right over in there is where a few years ago, opening day deer season, the Fisher cats killed a little fawn and drug it up in there or killed it over there. And I sat out here half a day. I mean, I heard like their ferret type sound coming from them. Like, you know, kind of odd, and thought it was a weasel or something, you know. Yep, it was the Fisher cats, mom and her two kits. But I made this area hard to get through and difficult terrain to actually walk through for me and the animals, because that's where I throw the bait. They're more likely to not run as fast and give me a better shot moving in different angles, trying to walk through the bait. So that is why all the hinge cuts and everything in there. No bear license for me this year, so I will not be down here cleaning this out anymore, but I may do some cutting to get my shooting range, because I don't know if you guys can see, there is kind of a straight shot down my trail going down through here. I just need to clear out some more trees like usual. The white pine that I got, that was leaning back in here, is rotten. The one I was trying to mill out into a few 12 by 12 by 12 foot logs. You can see the top of it is actually kind of still caught up in the other trees back in there. But I won't walk in. So when I bought the property, I don't know how long the tree had been already leaning dry, hung up, but it was like one of the largest trees on the property, so I wanted to do something with it. And lo and behold, it actually burned up my saw trying to cut through that. I mean, that tree was bigger than that one easily. People are like, oh, just drag it out of here. And I'm like, no, I gotta kind of cut it down to even get the dang thing out of here. That's why I was trying to mill it in place with the chainsaw that just couldn't hack it. Sure, there's no bear or anything sleeping under the tree. Yeah, it's been a couple years since I burned up that chainsaw trying to cut this thing, so. And now that it hit the ground, it's definitely rotting quicker and faster. Although the ruffed grouse comes out here and uses it as a perch quite frequently. And that's what the other side of the Fenton Spring area looks like. There are also a couple of springs in there that feed down in towards the lake. And if I walk out towards the lake, maybe I'll shoot another video. Alright. Just figured I'd show the world, the property, friends and family. Make a short video. Take it easy, people.